Good evening and welcome to 365 Days of Amazing Stories with Theo Mayer. Here we are on day 222 of 2025. And, well, this story is about persevering and, as well, being creative. Now, I don't know how many of you have, say, competed in some athletic event when you were younger and your parents were there watching, and more than likely, they were cheering you on. And it's kind of a nice thing to get cheered on. It can make all the difference between, well, just kind of doing okay and really going for it. Because if you hear somebody cheering you on, you know they're watching you, and you tend to do even better. Now, some people, maybe that's not true. Maybe some people would rather not have anyone's attention on them. But this particular story has to do with an individual who thought he was getting cheered on when he really wasn't. I don't know if you've ever had the chance to watch a tadpole turn into a frog, but it is an amazing thing. This little creature that lives in the water grows bigger and bigger. Eventually, its tail starts getting smaller at the same time that its legs begin to appear in 4 places on its body. What a metamorphosis. Now, it just so happened that in a certain pond where tadpoles were just turning into frogs, there was also a rather deep pit that had been dug in order to collect water very close to the pond that would be a little bit fresher, having migrated through the soil to fill that hole up. And it just so happened that 2 frogs that had just emerged from the pond, not quite understanding how the world really worked, ended up in this rather deep hole where there was some water, and there were also little kind of places on the edge of the water where there was some dirt, mud really, where they could stand. But once in the hole, they couldn't really get out. Well, they started to try to jump out of the hole. And there were other frogs that were at the top, and they were yelling down to the frogs below. It's like, it's pointless. You'll never be able to jump out. Just don't even try. It's pointless. Just give up. Well, one of the frogs actually did, and his fate was to never emerge again from that hole. But the other one, seeing all of these frogs at the top yelling down to him, jumped higher and higher and higher, thinking, knowing that if he jumped high enough, he could get out of that hole. And with one mighty leap, he in fact did. He reached the edge. It was a struggle, big struggle, but he made it. Well, all the other frogs gathered around him, and they were really surprised that he'd managed to make it out. And they said, well, we were telling you to give up. Why didn't you just give up? And the frog said, well, I couldn't quite hear you because I really can't hear very well. I thought you were cheering me on, so I just kept jumping higher and higher. I don't know what you can get out of that story, but something good, I hope.